We are Adam and Kathryn, also known as Adventures of A+K.
And welcome to our van.
If you want to see kind of the progress to get from when we bought it to now, check that out too.
And lastly, something we're adding in the description is something that I thought would have been helpful along this journey and some of the other videos that we watched, is we're doing a timestamp for each of the areas of the van. So if you're just here for one part or you need to rewatch something like that, look below, you can click and go right to it.
Awesome. Well, I think we got all that out of the way now, so let's get started and show you the van. So the first thing that you see when you enter our van is our closet. So while we followed a van build guide, we tried to think really hard about like what specific items we wanted to bring in the van and where we would put them. So we tried to maximize the space as best as we could and make every inch of this place provide some sort of value. So the closet's a really good example of this. So when you open it up, we have the top part right here, which stores all of our backpacking gear, a few items for Kona, our bug curtain. It's kind of a little bit of a mess. There's a lot of things in there right now. Maybe we'll organize it better later. Behind this door here is some of our plumbing. So we put this there just so you can't see it right when you open the door. In the lower part of the closet is where we tried to really maximize the space the best we could. So right here we have a slot to put our dog Kona's crate. So whenever we're not using it, we can tuck it in here and it can stay safe. Right here we have a slot that fits our away suitcase. So I have a full-time job and I travel a good amount for work, so I needed to make sure we had a suitcase in the van at all times. The nice thing about this is I can store stuff in it while it's in here, so it has like kind of a double purpose. And then below, you don't see anything here besides a drawer right now, but this is where we plan to store our laundry, just so we can keep like our bathroom clean, like the hallway clean. We're trying to reduce clutter as much as we can. It's a very small space, so we want to make sure everything kind of has a place. That way we can try to keep this place a little bit neater. We'll see. Another thing we did to give ourselves more storage is we built this headliner shelf. So in a normal Sprinter van, the ceiling goes up, like the roof goes up all the way right here. We're in the driver area, but we built a shelf because we didn't really need all of that space, and it's a great way to store more stuff. So we have a headliner shelf, and one thing we did that we haven't seen a ton of people do, but we really wanted, was a door on here, because we want to be able to kind of throw stuff in there and not have to look super neat and kind of make our van look a little bit cleaner. So when you open this door, you will see some window covers, and then the main reason we built this was to store some of Adam's golf clubs and also our backpacking gear. So we love to backpack, and it's kind of hard to store like those massive backpacks in a small van. So this is kind of the backpacking backpack home, and then the closet stores more of the stuff that goes in the backpacks. And lastly, one thing in this area that's worth mentioning is we have like a Velcro strip right here, and then we have a blackout curtain that basically just attaches right into it. And we wanted to have the blackout curtain, even though we have window covers for the front, just to make sure we have lots of privacy at night, and if we have to stealth camp at all, to make sure no one can tell that we're in here. We also have a bug curtain that goes on the front sliding door area as well as the back doors, and we use Velcro to attach those as well. We just got those off Amazon, super cheap. They make really nice custom ones, but we were over budget, so we went the cheap route.
So one of the comforts of home that we have is an S-Bar D2 heater. We installed this underneath the passenger seat. That's a pretty common location for vans. With that, we have a high altitude kit. So when we're in Colorado or a mountainous area, I think it's above 5,000 feet, you need this altitude kit so that it can work properly. So we have that. Another thing we added to the van is the Max Air fan. This is the pricier of the van fans that people get, but it has 10 speeds. It has a rain cover. It can blow out. It can blow in. In hindsight, we wish we could have placed this in the back more above us when we're sleeping, but if you think about it now, it's going to help with cooking, getting the air out from there, and also from the bathroom. We also installed 5 windows in the van. This is kind of the most intricate one. This is the T-vent window, so this is going to help with ventilation along with the fan. So you turn this here and it opens the window there. In the back, on the sides, we have 2 regular windows, and the back doors are just regular windows as well. In hindsight, again, we wish we would have added another T-vent or some kind of opening mechanism on the window, but those were about twice the price, and again, we're over budget, so. Welcome to the world's smallest bathroom. We really wanted a shower in the van. As you can see, it's pretty small, so it's going to be perfect for just rinsing off after a hike, things like that. We also plan on having a gym membership for when we want to get the full cleanse. The other necessary item we needed in the van is a toilet. So this is a Nature's Head composting toilet. The cool thing about this is your number 1 goes in this front tank here, and your number 2 goes in the bottom tank here. After you do your business, you turn this knob here and it kicks around the composting material that's in there. And every 3 weeks you need to change that out. We hear great things about this, and it keeps the smells down. As you can see, the toilet is a pretty large piece here, so it didn't really sit inside the shower pan very well. So we had this wood slat platform built for it, and it attaches right here. So when we need to change it out, we just unscrew that, pop it out.
both stovetops if we're cooking boiling water and also cooking veggies. Other times we might just use one. So we wanted to have the flexibility to be able to put the stovetops on the counter whenever we need them, because some days we may not even need stovetops. So they do take a lot of power, so we're gonna have to be really conscious of that. But the nice thing about the induction stovetops is they heat up really fast and they work super well. And then above our refrigerator, we have our silverware drawer, which has obviously our silverware as well as some knives, some spoons, some spatulas, all that fun stuff. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is that we're using these latches to keep all of our doors from opening. So we have these latches that we'll link below, and they're working really great so far. Every time we've driven the van where nothing's flying open, keeps everything nice and safe. We also have like a shelf liner in these drawers so things don't slide around as much. And probably the most important part of our kitchen is our refrigerator. So we have an isotherm refrigerator, and it's 4.6 cubic feet. And it's probably one of the largest fridges we could buy for this van. And that was important to us because, like we said, we like to cook a lot and we don't want to have to run to the grocery store every day, especially if we're kind of camping out somewhere more remote. So when you open it up, we have some spots for waters, lots of spots. So we have a lot of storage in here. We have a little freezer. We actually chose a fridge with the smallest freezer we could find because we don't tend to freeze much stuff, but we love it. We think it's going to store a lot of good stuff for us.
So this is our nice dresser. It has 3 giant drawers. So this top drawer is mostly my clothes here. Second drawer is Kathryn's drawer. Hers looks a little more organized than mine. And then this one's kind of a hodgepodge drawer. We have our vacuum, some of our shoes. These are our shower towels, and just some hodgepodge things. We also added butcher block to the top of the dresser just because it looks nice, and it's also another kitchen prep space here. So right here we have another beautiful fake succulent. Add a little homey flair. This is our Simply Safe. This is the alarm system for the van. It comes with a bunch of other pieces, so camera, so when we leave Kona in here, at times running into the grocery store or something like that. It has a freeze sensor, which also includes a temperature sensor, so if it's too hot or too cold. There's a motion sensor, also a glass breaking sensor, and then comes with the keypad to control it all. It was really important for us to have some kind of security system in the van, so when we're out hiking in the grocery store, coffee shop, things like that, we can keep an eye on the van and know that it's safe. Above our dresser, we have an upper cabinet here. Opens up, we got the latches on there. Got some toiletries. This is a random spot for it, but that's a backpacking lantern, toilet paper. Another random spot for our coffee grinder. And here's some of the Simply Safe stuff. And then this is also our WeBoost, which is a cell phone signal booster. So hopefully when we're out in the mountains, we can still get some signal if we need to work, be on the internet, things like that.
One other thing to mention about the WeBoost is that we have 2 different hotspot options to connect to. So we have a AT&T unlimited data plan on our phones, and it's not technically unlimited. They do throttle it, but we do have an unlimited amount of data. It just may be slow at times. We also got a Verizon Jetpack because we hear Verizon's the best in more remote areas. So we have 2 different providers that we can connect to in the van for internet, so hopefully wherever we are we'll at least have one of them. Also, our Simply Safe has to always be connected to Wi-Fi, so it has basically cellular service in it, and I believe it's T-Mobile, but then we will also always have it connected to our Verizon hotspot, which will just stay in the van. So we needed that to make sure we can always run our cameras and check in on stuff when we're away. We do hear it will suck the data out of this really fast, so we'll probably be camping out of places with Wi-Fi or going to coffee shops to make sure we always have internet service.
And then above the kitchen, we have another upper cabinet. This is our control panel for all of our electronics. So as you can see, we have these switches here. This is the cold water pump, hot water, our tank monitor, which is this thing right here. And then this lets out our gray water from under the van. This is the battery monitor, tells you how much voltage, percent of the batteries. This is the thermostat for the heater. And then moving on to the right, you have, these are way too many coffee filters, and then some other kitchen things. These are all the manuals for the electrical things. And then this is the solar charge controller that takes the solar energy from the panels on the roof and charges the batteries.
And now for our office, dining room, and bedroom, all in one. So we chose the layout of not having a permanent bed for a couple of reasons. So one, we don't have bikes or anything, so we didn't need that garage space that most people put underneath their higher up bed. We also just liked how open it felt to have windows and like the headspace to kind of walk around the van. It just made it feel a little bit more spacious and bigger to us. Also, we both have full-time jobs, so I have a 100% remote full-time corporate job that I can work from anywhere, so I'm going to work from the van. And then Adam has his own web design business, so we are both working at least 40 hours a week, and to save money at coffee shops, we thought it would make more sense to have a workspace in the van so we can work here all day long if we want to. And we have this pretty large table to work from.
It's a huge table.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized table. So this will be our desk and also where we eat our meals. And the nice thing is it's on a lagoon pedestal, so it can go back and forth and up and down, and so it's flexible, moves around. We're not just like trapped in this space. And then at night, this turns into our bedroom.
So it's really easy to convert from our daytime workspace to our bed. We just take the table off the lagoon pedestal. The pedestal comes off the bracket there, and we keep it in the dresser here. And then we lower the table onto, there is a lip edge around the edge of the benches here. Lower it there. Then we fill in, there's an empty space here with this part here. And then we push in the cushions and they fit perfectly.
Like this! So our bed is in between a queen and a king in width, and it's like a little over 6 feet long.
Which is perfect for me. I'm 6 foot and I have like an inch or two on each side.
So it's a little bit bigger than our bed that we had in Seattle, which is great because Kona's kind of a bed hog, so we have more space for all three of us. So at night we don't want to sleep directly on the cushions because we want to keep them in really good condition. So in these upper cabinets right here, we have a mattress cover that we will put on the cushions at night. We also have some sheets, and then we have a small fan here that we will plug into the wall outlet at night just to get some more airflow on us if it's a little bit warmer out. And then in these upper cabinets, we have a window cover, some jackets, and some toiletries, so it's very random. We actually still have a lot of space left in these, which is good because we feel like over time we will accidentally accumulate more things or need some more storage space, so we have a little bit of extra storage space here.
So for our electrical, we have a 3,000 watt inverter. We have two 100 amp hour lithium batteries that are charged by our solar panels on the roof, which we'll cover in a bit. And we're adding a third 100 amp hour battery because with our fridge and our inverter, we're right on the edge of needing more battery power. Another battery charging option we have with the solar is we have our batteries hooked up to our alternator, so as we drive, it can charge the batteries.
The other side of our bench houses most of our plumbing items. So we have a 23-gallon tank on this side. We have a 13-gallon tank on the other side. And we actually connected them. That way they act as one tank. So we didn't want to have one really large tank on one side of the van because we're trying to distribute the weight appropriately. So they are on different sides of the van, but they work together. So when we fill up the tanks, they both fill up at the same time. And what's really nice about this, besides the weight issue, is that we will never just run out of water in our sink but still have shower water. We'll always have water in either both of them or no water in either of them. So it works out nicely because one concern we had is that if we go through the sink water really fast, we have tons of shower water, that would just kind of suck at times. So we did that for the freshwater tanks as well as the gray water tanks, which we'll show in a second. And then we also have a 2.5 gallon hot water heater in here. So we have hot water in our sink as well as in our shower. We're holding it down with some bungee cords right now, but we're making a more permanent solution. That way it doesn't wobble as we drive. So just like the freshwater tanks, we have two gray water tanks underneath here and we connected them. So there's one spot underneath the van that was a really good fit for a gray water tank, but to put a really large one in there, it would hang down a bit. So instead we did two smaller ones and connected them. That way they act as one gray water tank. We can store more water by having two smaller ones, and then we can empty them both at the same time. And to empty them, you just flip this switch and then water comes out. And we did this so we don't have to always go underneath the van to empty it. It just makes our life a little bit easier.
And in the back, we have this awesome tailgate that covers the back under the benches. So just pull the handle here, it opens up. And on the left side, we have a hose that will fill up our water tanks. So we plug that in and it fills up both at the same time. In the middle here, we like to exercise, work out, so we wanted to have some gym equipment with us on the road. So these are some adjustable dumbbells. Yes, they're heavy. Yes, it might add some weight to it, but we weighed the van after everything's done and complete, and we are under the payload a decent amount, so we thought, hey, let's bring them. We also have, these are TRX type straps and then some bands. So we've got our own little home gym here.
And last but not least, our roof. So we added this luminous ladder so we can get to the roof a lot easier, and we just think it looks pretty cool. So on our roof, we have our 4 100-watt Renogy solar panels, as well as our fan, and then this is our Wii Boost. So we had a whole video about a lot of the items on the roof, so if you want to check that out, we will link to that below. But yeah, this is our little solar get up, and then I guess if we want to like go hang out and watch the stars, we can chill up here too. We have a little bit of space.
We are so excited to finally embark on our journey, take off on our adventure, make many memories in the van. We really hoped you enjoyed the van tour. If you have any questions, you can write them below and we'll be sure to answer. We also linked most of the products that we used below, but if you want a breakdown of all the costs, go to our blog on our website. And a big thank you to everyone who encouraged and supported us along the way on the build.
Yeah, as those who've been following for a while know, it's been a really hard journey, so we really appreciate everyone who sent us a lot of encouragement. We are so happy to finally be done. And real quick before we go, we wanted to set expectations of what you can expect from our channel moving forward now that the van's done. We've always considered ourselves travel vloggers, not van life vloggers. So we documented our build just so we can look back and maybe help someone along the way. And it's a big part of our story, but we do not plan to post a lot of van specific vlogs in the future. We plan to instead keep on sharing all of our travels, where we like to eat when we travel, coffee shops, things to do, all the stuff that we've been doing in like our Italy, Mexico City, Pacific Northwest videos. So for those of you who've been following for a while, don't worry, the taco, ice cream, coffee content is not going away.
No.
We will mention the van, of course, probably in every vlog in some way, because it's part of how we're traveling now, but we really want to share like the adventures and kind of mini travel guides to destinations, not just about the van. So we wanted to make that clear just so everyone knows what to expect moving forward. But we are pumped to hit the road. So excited. We cannot wait to share our van adventures in North America as well as our non-van adventures abroad. So we will see you on the road.